Today's episode is sponsored by Radar Gun. Get this new baseball gun and see how fast your pitches are going. This gun is useful for practice and seeing how fast you are throwing the baseball. Get one now, sold at your LUHS school store. Good morning, Fanatics. My name is Luke Urbeck, and you are listening to the LUHS Sports Talk podcast, where we talk everything sports. On today's episode, we will be talking about the automatic strike zone. We will determine whether it is good or bad for the game and why regular umps are still good for the game, and ways we can look to incorporate both the regular ump and the automatic strike zone, or even robotic umps. I first want to talk about how the automatic strike zone could be good or bad for the game. One of the reasons that the automatic strike zone is better for the game is that it is a step closer to robotic umps. These electronic strike zones are essentially the perfect strike zone. They call strikes and balls the same way that any ump does, but without any human error. In the Arizona Fall League and Spring Training, MLB used both a real ump and the automatic strike zone during some of their exhibition games. The first time the automatic strike zone were put into these games, the players did not like it very much. However, it is good for regular umps because they won't have as many missed calls. In 2019, Major League umps missed about 20% of their calls. That number is very significant for baseball in general. Those 20% missed calls could affect a game or even a playoff matchup. The automatic strike zones will help umps in crucial situations. Even though regular umps have missed calls, there's a lot of pitches that they see that are considered a baseball strike or a baseball ball. What I mean by that is there's a lot of pitches called by human umps that either the pitcher or hitter think is correct, even if it is not really a ball or a strike. Also, the automatic strike zone takes longer to call the ball or strike than a regular ump does. The automatic strike zone takes about 4 to 5 seconds for the ump to get the call, while a regular ump takes usually around 2 to 3 seconds. In general, human umps have a faster call time than the automatic strike zone. The automatic strike zone also has no leniency and will call a ball, and a strike. Regular umps do miss a lot of calls, but there are also a lot of calls that they make that an automatic strike zone would not understand. I would say that a human ump overall sees more than an automatic strike zone would during a game. The next sponsor of today's video is baseball caps. Get this new stylish and comfortable baseball cap. You could wear it anywhere you please, at home or out at a game. Sold at your LUHS school store. After talking about the two sides of the story, I now want to talk about how we can incorporate both an automatic strike zone and a human ump at the same time. One way to do it is how they did it in the Arizona Fall League. In this league, they had the human ump behind the plate while the automatic strike zone calculated each pitch. The ump would then call a ball or strike depending on what the automatic strike zone calculated. Players might not like the fact that there would be an automatic strike zone and a human ump in the same game. Most players like having a human ump behind the plate instead of a robotic ump because they think that they might understand the game more. Also, a lot of players have an issue with the automatic strike zone because it's very pitcher friendly. The automatic strike zone also calls strikes if the ball clips the zone even a little bit. This is something that hitters might not like. Also, every ump is different when the pitch is that low out of the zone but clipping the zone a little bit. It will not necessarily be called a ball or strike. A lot of hitters like that human ump because of the fact that they're not necessarily going to call that a strike, and it will be more beneficial to them. It is also very dependent on the pitch thrown by the pitcher. Even if it clips the zone, it's not necessarily a strike. However, with both the automatic strike zone and the human ump in play in this scenario, if the human ump thinks that it is not a strike, they might be able to change the call. The MLB would also need to figure out how to up the speed on the automatic strike zone, as they take longer than a regular ump does. Another way to incorporate an idea of having both the automatic strike zone and the human ump is that the human ump makes a call, but if they think it is incorrect because of what the automatic strike zone said, they can change the call. So overall, I think that the automatic strike zone would be good for the game, and why regular umps are still good for the game, and what we can do to incorporate both of these things and improve on both of them each year. Adding these new features to the game will be beneficial for players and umps, and will help improve the future of the game, and we might even be able to have robotic umps for the future. This could also be beneficial in close games, as it will help get another perspective on what a pitch was for a important call. This would overall be better for the league and accurate and fair for the players. So for baseball fans out there, we need to try and enforce this automatic strike zone. You can use all social media platforms or word of mouth to friends and family. Our final sponsor of today's video is Mittball. Get a sturdy, solid leather mitt, great for fielding and catching. You can use it professionally or casually. Sold at your LUHS school store.